I've been putting it off watching Ethan Dolan's YouTube video on how he did his acne journey. Dude. I just watched it now, so 4 days after it was released. And I didn't want to go see my grandmother today because I was so worried that because I was I got overly critical and started squeezing pimples on my face. And then I was like, I can't have anyone see me like this. I look like shit. Oh.
Hello my lovelies and welcome back to another episode of Makeup Mondays. I am Romina Biancalidolo, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing my journey with Roaccutane, how hard this was, but it was so beneficial to go through this process. My skin's doing a lot better and I'm super grateful for that. I'm just going to show you now where I started versus where I am now. We're going to go back to photos from May because that's kind of when I ended up having my meltdown, my breakdown. I call it like, I just went super depressed. I can't even explain to you. It was like, I don't know who I am. What am I doing with my life? What is social media? I hated everything. Honestly, I just didn't want to be around anymore. I didn't want to do another day. Around that time was when my skin got progressively worse. In the beginning of the year, I was already considering going to go see the dermatologist, find out what I can do about my skin, because for a very long time I've had really great skin. My skin has given me very little issues and that kind of thing, and it's only been recently that my skin would just, I wouldn't know what to do. I honestly was like, what do I do now? Is it something that I'm eating or not eating? Is it something that I'm doing wrong? And I was very confused. I felt very lost, and I was like, I don't understand. I also didn't want to ask for help. I didn't want to say I needed it. I didn't want to admit that I was gonna go on this path. I'd read so many articles and seen so many of these girls took Roaccutane and committed suicide because they were so depressed. I didn't want to be one of those people, and I was like, I already have such negative thoughts. I don't think I'll survive it. If I take this pill and go on this thing, I won't survive it. I think I won't be able to do it. I bounced around a lot of different ideas. I saw a psychologist, I saw a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist prescribed antidepressants, anti-anxiety, and I talked about it with my family. The thing that stood out was depression and everything stems back into your purpose and community. At that point I felt like I didn't really have those two things. I was like, I don't have a purpose. I don't know what my drive is. I don't feel like being around because I feel like a burden, which means that my community doesn't want me. That wasn't necessarily the case, but that's how I felt. I decided, you know what, okay, let's not take the antidepressants, let's not take the anti-anxiety medication. Let's rather go on the Concerta and Roaccutane. Let's complete tasks and accept and love myself again and work on trying to fix what I look like, trying to fix how I feel about myself before I go on quite a heavy medication. My adrenal gland was under so much pressure, and that means that you're constantly in fight or flight mode. And I was constantly scared. I was constantly fearing for my life, basically. That's how I felt. Because your adrenal gland is under so much strain, you're constantly putting your body through stress. The acne acts up and your body isn't functioning the way it's supposed to because you're not relaxing. You're not ever feeling safe or relaxed or anything like that. And it's a problem when you need to do everyday tasks and you want to feel good. And if you feel like you're eating healthy, you feel like you're doing all these things, but you're fatigued, you don't want to do anything, you're tired, and you're just so run down, and you're like, how and why is this happening to me? And it's because in your mind you feel like all these things are happening to you, when in actual fact You need to reframe your thoughts. You need to reframe what's really happening and go down that direction. And then you need to reframe what's happening in your life and what society is putting out in the media, what people are saying in the news, versus what's actually going on around you, like in your day-to-day. Because the news was putting out one thing and saying, oh my word, worry, stress, you're gonna die, da 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 da. Then I'm slowly every day hearing those things, oh my word, I'm not safe, blah 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 blah, and then your body reacts that way as well. You're just putting your body under so much stress and strain, and it's really so unhealthy for you. So when people say stress is a killer, like they really mean stress is a killer, because it really does put your body under so much strain, especially when it's something like what happened to me. So much stress, so much anxiety really edged on my depression and just made me feel like I was going down this hopeless spiral where I was ugly, where I felt like I had no value, there was no worth of my life in this world, and I just did not feel like I belonged here on this earth. I was like, why am I here? Like, nobody even needs me, you know? I know that these are feelings that other people have had, and that's why I'm coming out with this video, and I know that it's hopefully going to help somebody else get through the same kind of situation, because I know it's a place where you feel like you're so alone, and my throat's like closing up as I'm trying to talk about this, but you just feel so alone, you feel so vulnerable and so exposed to all the, you don't feel strong enough to go out into the world and make it for yourself. You don't feel like you can achieve anything, and you forget what you've already done as well. You forget that you've already made it as far as you have, and you forget the cool things, and you forget the memories that you've made, because it's so much easier to remember the negative than to remember the positive things that have happened in your life. And I mean, that's just how it is, but you need to train your mind to remember the good things and to reframe how you think about your situation. So I really struggled with that. Getting on Roaccutane and finally being like, I need that help, I need the step, was one of the best things I did for myself. It wasn't like I really wanted to change, I really wanted to help myself. I wanted to be on a better path, and I had people around me that were constantly like, there's a better way, you can do this, we want you around, we love you. Sorry. And like, I know that there's a better way to live as well. And I didn't want to be sad, I didn't want to be depressed, I didn't want to hurt myself any more than I'd already done. When I say hurt myself, there's so many different ways that you punish yourself, and so many ways that you put yourself in these really trying situations. And it doesn't need to be that way, but you do it to yourself anyway because you feel like that's what you deserve. And I really had to reframe how I thought so that that's not what I kept doing. These photos now that you're seeing from May, I started trying to take photos of my skin without makeup on so that I could see the progression, because I'd already consulted a doctor. I already was like, is this something that I should be doing? And then she was like, yeah, there's peels, there's Roaccutane, there's this, that. And then I was like, okay, I'll see if I need this, but I don't think it's that bad yet. And then, as you can then see from May, I was already like, my skin's very bumpy, very textured, and it's very hard to hide that with makeup. Then at the end of June, I wanted to see my skin again, and it just seems to be getting worse. And because it was winter time, you're not tanning, you're not spending a lot of time in the sun, and my body needs the sunshine. Without it, especially because it was now going into winter time, my skin was really struggling now because of stress, because of the lack of the sunshine and the vitamin D in the sun, and my adrenal gland being on such high red alert the whole time. My skin was really just going downhill from here, and it was just getting worse. Then end of July was when I watched Ethan and Grayson Dolan's video on Ethan's skin journey. And that, for me, when I watched that, it just really hit home for me, because I felt like I was going through something very similar. I didn't want to leave the house, and I mean, we couldn't because we were in lockdown, so it served me just fine. I was like, I'm okay not leaving the house, but it was getting worse and worse and worse, to the point where when I did eventually leave the house, when you could go out for lunches and things again, I was paranoid to see people. I was having anxiety attacks out in public, being like, oh my word, I know those people, they have me on social media. Do I look okay? I'm not confident enough right now. I'm not prepared for this right now. I'm not emotionally ready to deal with people. I was having panic attacks in after lockdown because I wasn't accustomed to dealing with people again. Weird thing is that I've done a lot of crazy things with my life and gone on trips with strangers. I've met so many thousands of people, danced in front of thousands of people, been on television. You know, I've done all these things where I keep putting myself out there, but then something as going out for lunch with my parents and my family, I'd have a breakdown. I'd freak out. I would literally have a panic attack. It really, your confidence in yourself really does affect how you deal with things. After I watched the video, and that's when I filmed the Snapchat rant, but I didn't ever share it or anything like that. It was just more for myself. I like to just see my progress. I just shared a little bit with you of it in the beginning of this video, but I'm not going to show it again because for me it's really hard to watch that. It's really hard for me whenever I need to look back and see, okay, well, this is the hard part that I was going through and this is what was really affecting me at the time, and that's how I felt, and then now that's what I had to do to get through it, and then this is where I am now. And that constant checking in on my progress is what helps me push me forward and constantly say, well, you made it through this thing, now it's the next thing. You tried these things to get forward and you tried these things to grow and get better, and then now this is how then you can maybe try it for the next time if you find yourself in a dark place. That is why I track my progress, but I don't do it so that I can use it for these videos. I do it more for myself and for that, because I don't need to make these videos. It's not like I'm getting anything from this other than hopefully helping somebody who's going through something similar. My videos aren't monetized yet. It's not like I'm benefiting from any of this. I just really want to help people get through something similar. And then these are some photos from August, and I think I just started the Roaccutane then. I think it was August, September, October, or it was September, October, November, something like that. I don't know if I just started it yet or not, but I remember August it got really bad and then it started clearing up. Do you see the photos now in end of August, what it looks like now? That's what it looked like. And then now I'm going to show you what my skin looks like. So this is my skin without the lighting. I've just got like a lot of freckles at the moment. But yeah, like my skin isn't that textured anymore. Super chill vibes. So I'm happy. I'm happy that my skin managed to clear up a lot. By November, I was feeling a lot more confident with my skin. I just want to end this video off by saying thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was probably not the easiest video to sit through and watch. I really hope it's helped you get through something that you're going through and made you realize that you're not alone and that there are other people going through things, and that if you're dealing with something that you can reach out to me. You send me a message on Instagram at Romina Lodello or my Facebook pages, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to comment on this video and if you want to maybe just start a conversation in the comments, more than welcome to. But if there's something I'd rather discuss privately, I'm also more than willing to do that as well. You deserve so much happiness. You are a light in this world, and don't you ever forget that. So please stay safe, stay motivated to be the best you can be, especially now in 2021 where we're going into times that seem a bit more uncertain than 2020, because 2020 kind of came and threw us totally off guard, but 2021 we're more prepared now, and even though there is uncertainty, we are prepared, and you can do this, you got this. If not, ask for help. You can always lean on someone, you can always ask somebody for advice, for guidance, for a hug. It's literally that easy. You can be like, this is how I want you to love me, this is when I need you to love me. It's that simple. So those are the things that you can do to really get you through this year. Tell people how you want to be treated. Ask yourself what you need to do in order to achieve your goals and to get yourself back on track and whatever it is. You got this. I know you do. And 2021 will be great. And if you're going through anything, don't forget to reach out. I love you so much, my lovelies.